Should we build the lighthouse tonight?
Can we build a lighthouse today? Can we build a lighthouse?
It was an astounding yes. So in the background of the story time, I'm going to be showing the footage of us building this lighthouse. To give a little bit of context around this world, this is a hardcore server that I started with a friend around 2 weeks ago. So if we die, we lose everything. The purpose of this video is to make something memorable in the world, so I hope you guys enjoy. To start the story off, it happened a while ago, so I was probably either a sophomore or a junior in high school. I was pretty sad, probably because I noticed how quickly time was passing me by, which was rough. Not only was I not ready for my life to move on, but I felt like my life was leaving me behind. I remember the first night passing by where I just laid in bed on my phone, and even when I tried to turn off my phone, I was still unable to sleep. Now obviously this is not unusual behavior for a high school student to not sleep, but I felt incapable of sleeping. I went that whole night without sleeping even a blink. And of course, when I went into school the next morning, I was feeling groggy as fuck. I don't know if you guys have ever not slept and then gone into school the next morning, but if you have, you guys know that it feels so weird. The time seems to pass by in like slow motion and you cannot pay attention to one word that the teacher's trying to say. Also, to give a little bit of context behind what we're building right now, my friend suggested that it would look really cool if we were to give the different lighthouse layers a kind of curve as they went up. The best way I can think of describing this is a candy cane. So we messed around with the curve for longer than I'd like to admit, until we eventually landed on a sweet spot, which looks pretty good. But going back to the story, staying up for one night straight was something that my body could basically handle effortlessly. In high school, I spent so many nights wide awake playing video games, so I practically trained my body to be able to handle a night of no sleep. When it became a problem though, was when the second night rolled around and I was still unable to get any sleep. So now I'm thinking, this is weird. It's not usual for me to stay up for 24 hours straight and then not crash the next night. At this point, I was awake for around 48 hours, and while my body was entirely exhausted, I couldn't fall asleep. There's a fucking creeper in my windmill. Look at him! Did you see that? He just went down the stairs. All these chests are fucking full, so if I mess this up, everything's gone. Oh my god! Okay, he's dead. As I was saying, I was physically exhausted, but I couldn't get any sleep. And on that day where I hadn't slept for over 48 hours, I was supposed to go see Oppenheimer with my family. When we went into the theater, I was feeling so fine. And actually, throughout most of the movie, I was awake. But when the movie got silent after the big explosion, I just passed out. Apparently, the only thing keeping me awake in that movie theater was the sound, and when they removed that, I was gone for the rest of the movie. And the crazy part is the silence of the movie only lasted 45 seconds. So I could fall asleep in this movie theater with this movie playing, but I couldn't fall asleep in my own bed. When the third night rolled around, this is where a lot of the creepy shit actually happened. Many studies online state that after 48 hours of sleep deprivation, you may start to get complex hallucinations. And these hallucinations could be in the form of auditory, visual, or they can even be like sensory. And now approaching the third night of no sleep is when I was gonna first start to hallucinate. I started getting my first hallucinations, which were both auditory and sensory, at around 1 a.m. in the morning. And these hallucinations were unlike anything I have ever felt before in my life. Initially, it was just auditory. I heard footsteps walking down my hallway, and outside of my room, there's nothing but a hallway. There's no reason that anyone should be walking down this hallway at 1 a.m. at night, because my room is the only thing on the other side. So I put down my phone, absolutely thinking it's my parents, and I kind of peek outside of my door. But it was no one. This is when I started getting scared, and I think that me getting scared influenced way more hallucinations. I laid back down in bed and went on my phone until around 10 more minutes passed. Then, everything began feeling even more real. I heard the footsteps again, but this time they sounded much louder and much faster. It sounded as if they were running up and down the hallway, back and forth. But this time, along with the auditory hallucination, I started feeling like the house was moving with the footsteps. You guys know how it feels when you step on a creaky floor and then you kind of feel the house move around you? It felt exactly like that. Almost as if that were a real person running back and forth in the hallway. So I'm thinking, okay, cool. I'm going fucking insane, and I lock my door. After locking my door, I go straight back to my bed and I lay down and shut my eyes immediately. Now I know that I need to force myself to sleep. Fortunately, it worked for around 5 minutes. Unfortunately, my eyes wandered back awake. When I woke back up, I couldn't move at all. My body was entirely immobile besides my eyeballs. Using only my eyeballs to scan the room, I looked into the back left corner. And up in that corner, there was a man using both his hands to hoist himself near the ceiling. He had a red motorcycle helmet on and a black leather jacket, and he was just staring back down at me. This was the most vivid hallucination I have ever had. In that moment, I didn't really feel anything, but when I snapped out of it and he was gone 2 seconds later, I needed to catch my breath. I laid there awake for 10 more minutes, just comprehending what I saw. And finally, I eventually ended up falling asleep. And thank God for that. I hadn't slept in like 3 nights, finally. Also, this is just a little side note that I found pretty scary like a year later. I was telling a group of friends about how I had this sleep paralysis demon with a red motorcycle helmet and a black leather jacket. And one of the friends that I was telling in the group sympathized with me and said, I've also had that same sleep demon. And that really terrified me because what the hell? I don't know if they were saying that just to scare me or just trying to relate, but if that's true, that is terrifying. And they described him in the same manner that I described my sleep demon, hoisted up against the wall in the corner of the room. If you guys have made it this far, thank you all so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this story and enjoyed our building. I think it looks pretty good for 2 people who kinda suck at building. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. Have a great day.
Yeah, I killed it, but
We killed it together as a group. You know what? I think we killed it so hard, actually, that I'm gonna mark it off our to-do list.
very nice. Can I do it? I want to do it.
You want to do it? Okay, yeah, come and do it. Come and do it.
Wow, that is so good.
Woo! Let's go!
Lo and behold. Lo and behold these nuts.